Hello, and welcome back to the Cooper Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher, and we are here to discuss Liverpool versus Aston Villa from back on Saturday night. Yes, it's 4 defeats in a row in all competitions. It hasn't been a great week at all, and going into the international break, we need a bit of a lift. So that's why we're here. We're not going to be all down the dump. We're going to talk about the negatives and hopefully find a few positives in there too. I guess we are 1 point off third, so that's one of them. But thanks for joining us, and we'll be talking about that game and much more after this. And welcome back to Villa, Cooper Villa Live. Did I normally say Villa on Tour Live?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not a thing. Yeah, that's not a thing. Cooper Villa Live, thanks for joining us. We are here again to discuss Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Look, Noah, there's a lot of sort of negativity out there at the moment. Things are not going very well for Villa. 4 defeats in a row, as we mentioned before. But is there any optimism out there? Can we find some? I guess we didn't play quite as bad as maybe some of the previous matches.
Yeah, I actually thought we played all right, Scott. To be honest with you, I think it's a bloody tough place to go, Anfield, and I know we have a good record at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it's not that easy of a place to go as well. And going away in Europe's not easy. So we've had a tough week. 3 away games in a week, a lot of miles travel. I think someone said so I saw a lot of numbers put up on if everyone went home and away for that week. It was, it's a lot of miles covered. And there's one big positive that got announced this morning, and Morgan Rogers is in the senior England squad. So congratulations to Morgan. That's probably one of the most deserved call-ups in recent times. And I thought one big spark for us was Mr. Jacob Ramsey before he decides to rip his hamstring off the bone, and he's out for 2 weeks. And Kamara's out for a couple as well. But I think the international break's come at a good time. I really have. I think it has. So,
I agree. We need a bit of a reset. I think, the team haven't been playing well. This game itself, going into it, of course, I wasn't that confident. I predicted a defeat, in our last pod, and we got one. But
we did.
It was very disappointing. I think one of the main talking points from a Villa point of view was the potential 2 penalties that we could have got. David Coots, of course, has had a big 24 hours. It's just come out that there's a video going around of him, calling out that he doesn't like Liverpool and he doesn't like Jurgen Klopp, and some conspiracy theorists out there saying maybe he overcompensated and gave them the rub of the green in this game because of that. He's been suspended. So that's never good to see from a sort of integrity point of view for the Premier League. But do you think they were penalties? And what were your thoughts? Do you think it cost us?
Do I think they were penalties? I definitely think the second one was. The first one I think is a bit 50-50. As a Villa fan, I think, it's a penalty. I don't think it's... It's okay. It's either a yellow card for diving for Watkins, right? A penalty for Villa. They're the 2 things had to be. But there was a foul.
Yeah.
What was the foul for?
I think it's a penalty because I think Ollie gets to that ball first.
I agree with that.
And he doesn't play the ball, Kanate. And he steps across.
If it's given, it stays a pen, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't given. So you got to think about that. So there was no overturning it.
I mean, the commentator at the time said 60-40 penalty, he thought.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'd probably be maybe similar to that. But I just think it's a penalty because, Ollie Watkins is definitely getting to that ball first,
We got to
and
it first.
yeah, and well, he does his little trick, his step over, and then knocks it past him, and I think he's going to get to that, get a shot in, and Canade cuts right across in front of him, and disappointing that wasn't given. Then there was the shirt tug later on Pau Torres in from the free kick, I think it was, or a corner.
Or a corner, yeah.
Yeah.
Blatant that one, Scott. That's blatant.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact is, we do see a lot of pullings of shirts in the penalty area from set pieces, but the ball was coming to Torres.
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. I don't know how that wasn't given. The shirt was pulled, you could ask for the shirt after the game, Bradley, if you wanted it that bad, but
exactly.
It's just one of those things like that. It's pretty blatant that. And I think if roles are reversed, and let's say that's Luca Dean pulling Virgil van Dijk's shirt, it's a penalty. I'm telling you. As Troy would say, if you're wearing red, it's a penalty.
I'm pretty confident that is the truth, and I think that in front of the cop, with 50,000 Liverpool fans screaming, it's harder to give those decisions for referees, and sometimes a few of them go, I won't give it, and then if VAR want me to have a look at it, maybe I'll overturn it.
Yeah,
it's easier for them to make a non-decision than maybe seeing something blatant with their own eyes and giving it. So, I'm not going to make excuses for David Coates, because he was absolutely annoying the shit out of me in this game, to be honest. Because I just think that we just needed a bit of luck, a bit of something to go our way. Like if we get the Ollie penalty and we make it 1-1, who knows? Like maybe it lifts the whole team. Because,
Scott, if you look at it, they scored 2 counter-attacking goals. One from a shocking corner, putrid corner. Yeah, then I scored again from exactly the same bloody corner. And then the second one from a shocking mistake from Carlos when he heads it straight into Salah. So they're 2 pretty, the goals we probably shouldn't be conceding.
They were avoidable, definitely.
They were really avoidable goals. And unfortunately, when you're facing a good side who's red hot on form, 5 points clear on top of the league, they're going to take those chances. And I think if we're on the top of our game, then we don't need penalties to decide a game. There was a great chance when Ramsey could have got a shot off a little bit earlier and he got blocked. We're just not quite there at the moment.
Morgan Rogers as well. Morgan Rogers as well had one where he put it wide just in the start of the second half. I mean, we had a higher XG than them at half time, which, because we had the 2 chances from the corners late in the first half.
Great saves from Colour. You got to credit their great saves.
They were good saves and good delivery from Digne. One from Anana.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe Consa with the other.
No, I think it was Carlos.
Carlos, yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of those goes in. We just needed, when you're going through a bad form, you need something like that just to go in and just spark the team. And we're just not finding that at the moment. And I'm really sort of concerned in some ways because
I'm not.
Here's the thing, though. This Palace game, when we come back from the international break, is a must-win. It's and they've recently beaten us at Villa Park. I know that was a very different team, different competition.
I was about to say, very, very different.
But now we're going into this game, and it's must-win. The pressure is on us.
Yeah, and we've got the manager for it. I mean, we never lost 4 in a row under him before. I think we'll bounce back. I mean, I think Palace at home will destroy them. I think we are at home, of course. The Villa Park crowd will get it behind them, and I just don't see how we don't win that game, seeing the form we're in. You come back from international break. These Villa players have played, it's the worst time for them to go on international break. No one likes going on international break losing. It's the worst for fans and for players as well. I know that some get to go on international duties, but the ones that aren't, they can't break their bad slump, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They've got to sit with this form for a fortnight and just have it. But we've got some winnable games coming up, and this is probably our hardest patch in a long time. But obviously we've got Palace and Brentford and Southampton coming up at Villa Park. I honestly think we should be getting 9 points. If we're looking at it, 9 points from those games. I know Brentford are they're going to be difficult to beat, but we should be going into the mindset that should be 9 points for us. Chelsea away is going to be bloody tough. Again, we have a good record at the Bridge, but it's a flip of the coin. They're red hot as well.
That's it. We've also got like Juventus jammed in there, and in the Champions League, which is going to be huge. So yeah, I mean, we got some massive games. Let's let's talk about those mistakes though, because I thought as a team we actually defended quite well, and
I agree.
I thought Konsa was maybe our best player, and I thought Diego Carlos was having a good game until his shocking error for the second goal. But and the fact that they scored straight from the corner, one of our corners, and then they had another chance where
identical. I
mean, this can't be happening, and we're conceding a lot of goals, and
we are.
Like Emery's needs to sort this out. It really does. Like there's no other way around it. If we don't improve our defense, we won't be finishing in Europe. Forget the Champions League. We won't be finishing in the top 7.
No, exactly that. And it is a massive concern, Scott, as you mentioned. Like we have the best keeper in the world, but how must he be feeling knowing the mistakes his backline are making in front of him?
He must be frustrated. And I think that, Kamara being injured as well, again, I thought maybe him coming back, if he slotted in there with Anana and Tillemans, let's say we were playing Chelsea away, for example, tough game coming up. If he could slot in there and give us a bit more defensive cover, a bit more sort of, ability to read the game, win the ball.
I agree.
That might, because like last year before he got injured, he was brilliant in that position. Like,
that's what he did. He just controlled the play and everything, and we're lacking it. We're low on confidence. We're that it's the first place you start. I mean, the Club Brugge game, we haven't really touched on it, but that's a very, very flattening game in general. We didn't play.
That was an awful game.
I didn't even get to watch the game, but I watched the highlights and whatnot. It's hard. And that was a 4:30 kickoff for me. So was that 1 o'clock for you, Scotty?
Well, it was like 1:45 kickoff.
Yeah. So I had to be up for work.
I was up with the baby, and I watched it. I watched the whole 90 minutes, and that was a frustrating game, just because, again, like Emery's tactics in these sort of matches, these away matches, very often are just like keep it tight for the first half. Right, and then maybe play a bit more expansive in the second half. But the problem is we played tight, and then the stupid error from Tyrone Mings, where I've never seen anything like that in my whole life watching football.
I did. Well, I did last season.
I know.
Was it this season? Gabriel did exactly the same thing.
It was last season.
Can you remind me what colour shirt Gabriel wears?
Yeah, I know, but I think after that, right, that's even more of a mistake, right? So Tyrone Mings has obviously seen that, right?
But
and he's gone and
do you honestly think, the way I see it, right, it's a genuine mistake from Tyrone Mings. I think he's thought the ball's come off the advertising boards and bounced it. No. I don't think he thinks that Mings has kicked it to him. You
should never be picking the ball up, ever. Like, why doesn't he just kick it back to Martinez?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, and I feel bad for him because that's his first Champions League game, right? And he can't enjoy it because he's lost the game for us, right? Yeah. Like, plain and simple, right? But these kind of errors are just like mind-boggling.
They're adding up. Which is a problem. But can I go back to the Liverpool game?
Yep.
Is there one thing that stands out to you that Liverpool have that Villa don't? And it's been very apparent most weeks. Pace.
No? Right.
Pace. Those 2 goals, definitely the first goal, doesn't happen if he's got slow attackers. Salah just is rapid. Nunez is rapid. Diaz is rapid. Bailey looks like he's lost a leg.
He does.
Bailey was so quick last year.
And Watkins as well had a couple where, he looks so short of confidence. Like normally he takes people on and
Takes
goes
them on,
past them
yeah.
with pace, with a bit of skill, with physicality and being strong, and he just can't do it at the moment. And
No.
yeah,
I
it's
think it's
disappointing.
a good time for the international break to come.
It is.
And you can't tell we're flat on the pod. It's not gonna be a long one tonight. We don't have Tommy's rants here.
No, we
We
don't.
take his parents to the airport tonight. So hopefully they're having a nice trip down the Monash Freeway all the way to Tullamarine. In Melbourne.
But saying this, we lost to Spurs, we lost to Liverpool. That's 6 points dropped, right? I'm more annoyed with the 6 points drop in the Ipswich, Bournemouth, and Man United games, right? Two home games, one home game where we were ahead, in the 90th minute, one away game where we were ahead, and we lost it in the last 10 minutes as well, and the Man United game where we had a great, it was a tight game. Obviously, maybe a draw is a fair result, but we have that great chance from Philogene, at the end. And he's
that was right in
guy,
front of me, that.
And he's one guy who's getting a bit of flack on social media, and people saying he hasn't really, lived up to maybe his potential since
at the moment, he hasn't.
Coming back.
Absolutely hasn't. Yeah, we need to spend some money in Jan. We need to spend some money in Jan, I think.
Well, if we do spend money in Jan or get some loan players in, I think it needs to be at the back, because that's obviously that's the main problem right now.
It's a right back though.
Yeah, I think we need a right back. We need a centre back. We need another centre back. Last year we had Longley, right?
Yeah.
And what we've got right now, right?
Yeah.
Now, Bogard played some matches at the start of the season.
And now he's in Courtney Horse. Bring Courtney Horse back.
No, Courtney is a horse that needs to be gone out and shot. Right, he's done. Right, he's not winning the Melbourne Cup. But look, I think we could really do something on the loan market. Hopefully. In January and get.
Do you think we missed a trick loaning out Louis Barry again?
Possibly. I mean, he's got pace, right?
He's rapid.
That's one thing.
He's rapid, and that's what we're missing.
He can play a couple of different positions.
He can play all across the front three.
Yeah,
he can play striker, left, right. He can play behind. He did it last year before he got injured. Then he went back and did it again. He just keeps scoring goals.
I know.
He keeps scoring goals.
It's a different level. I mean, look, Philogene last year.
He's confident, Scott.
Philogene last year had a great season for Hull in the championship, and he's struggling to adjust.
I think if he scores a goal, it just changes that. If that goal against United goes in, right, he's off and running. If he doesn't get sent off at Fulham, he probably starts the next game. It's just a domino effect for him. It's a domino effect.
I mean, he played well against Bayern, but
he did. He did.
That's probably
we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
I think we'll be okay too. Like I said, we're 1 point off third, but we have to have a good December. Like the Palace games, and December. So I'm going to go over the fixtures here. We got Palace and Juventus in November. Then it's Chelsea away, Brentford at home, Southampton at home, Leipzig away in the Champions League, Nottingham Forest away, Manchester City at home, Newcastle away, and Brighton at home. I mean, that's going to make our season, that December period.
Absolutely. I think we'll be up for it.
I think we'll know where we're going to finish. And right now, if you said to me, we'll finish in a Europa League spot, I wouldn't be too disappointed, because I think
I'll take Europa League.
Yeah, I think Champions League, especially if it's top 5, is still doable, and that should be our aim. But
it's tough to keep following it up, though, isn't it?
It is tough to keep following up, and for a team like Villa, we just need to keep being in Europe, keep being in Europe, being in Europe. Because if we're in the conference, in the Europa League, we've got a pretty good chance of actually winning those competitions.
I agree.
Which is an extra bonus, and that's an extra way next year into Champions League. If we finish Europa League, so we've got to, obviously I want to finish in the Champions League positions, and I still think we can. But with the emergence of Chelsea, we got even teams like Brighton and Forest at the moment are just absolutely killing it. So it's not going to be easy at all. I am nervous. Our defense is looking really shaky. We got Pau Torres, Konsa, guys that you depend on from last season, right? Top defenders. We got the best goalkeeper in the world, right? We've got Luca Digne, who's having a great season, but again, on that goal, the first goal from Núñez, he was awful. I know that, I don't know how we got to a situation where it was like 3-on-1 and the one was Leon Bailey, right? But Digne, if you watch earlier on, he hesitates.
Yeah.
He thinks to win, I could win the ball, and then he looks behind him and goes, shit, it's just Leon Bailey back there. And he doesn't do one or the other. He doesn't run back to help Bailey, which he should have done.
And that's a coach killer, that Scott. That goal is a coach killer. We're in attacking position. We're very good at set pieces, and we put in two of the worst corners in recent history for Aston Villa. We're normally on the money all the time.
It's a set piece coach killer. That's what it is.
It's just a genuine killer. Like it's just it's just we
give Austin McPhee a lot of praise when we score from free kicks and corners, which we do quite a bit, and we have done this season. But I think
you can't blame him for that. You can't blame him for that.
I think you have to.
You can't tell me that he's gone to Luca Dean, don't beat the first man twice.
No,
Let's boot it into the first man.
No, but you can't just leave Leon Bailey at the back by himself.
Yeah.
You've got to be switched on defensively, even when you are
against a team like Liverpool. Yeah, against a team like Liverpool.
I mean, there's no way you can get in a situation where it's 3-on-1. I mean, I always played when I played. If they left 2 up from a corner, you leave 3 back. You don't even go 1-on-1. We were like 1-on-3. I mean, I don't. Even if Digne did make it back, we were still outnumbered, and he had no chance. He was in no man's land. So, I mean and we were playing okay to that point. Like we said earlier, we were in it. We had a higher XG. It was a tight game. They had a few chances. Not many. We had a few chances, not many. But the first goal in that game is always going to be massive, and they get it, and we're done. We're pretty much done.
Yeah, and Liverpool are good at setting up shop. They've got such a good back line. I know Trent Alexander-Arnold went off injured, but that Connor Bradley isn't a great understudy. He's a great player, and the young kid as well.
I had another question. What did you think of the second half? Because there was a lot of Liverpool possession without much pressure on the ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We were sitting back.
I do, because it's a weird second half. I think we should have risked losing by 2 or 3 to win the game, but we didn't. You know what I mean?
And Emery's not really a pressing coach. I don't think he ever has been, right? But I do remember in certain situations in previous seasons where we played the high line, right?
Yeah,
the high line
gone.
The high line is gone.
It's gone.
We don't do right, and we were at least condensing that middle third of the pitch, right? So, and the high line, a lot of people criticized it, right? But it actually works in our favor in terms of winning the ball back higher up, right? So when we do win the ball back, it's not just Ollie against the world, right? Or, Morgan Rogers against, the world. We've got players up and supporting. And yes, we are defending worse, but that's a great point, Kaz. And we're letting in more goals. I mean, with VAR, right? The high line, they've got to be perfect to break it, right? And a lot of times last season we caught teams in the trap, and we
were by far the highest team catching teams offside. We were by far the best in the league at it. And there's the occasional one that we didn't, but we've absolutely did it more than we didn't. If that makes any sense. Like we caught teams offside 3 or 4 times a game, and they might get through once.
So why do you think we're playing more of a low block out of possession game?
Because teams might think we're going to do the high line. I don't know. So you try going to a different scenario. People train and figure out how to beat you all season. And you go on the same game plan they've been training to do. I don't know. Yeah, literally this. That's yeah. That's I can really agree with Kaz. That's what I was trying to say.
I get it, but I think that in certain situations we need to switch it up and be a bit more flexible and go back to it, because I think I think it's just at the moment it's becoming, we're not having enough of the ball and in the right areas to sort of influence games. We've got Onana in for Louise, right?
Yeah.
Which means we are a bit more physical, but we're not as good with the ball. We're not creating as many chances, and we're still conceding more goals. So it's almost like he's gone super defensive, and it's not working at the moment because we're conceding more goals. So, I mean that Palace game is massive, and I would love us maybe to go to the high line in that game.
I think we should
really play on the front foot and put them under some pressure, because they've turned it around a little bit recently, but they're not going so well. I mean, where are they this season? Just look at the table. Palace
they've lifted their form recently.
Yeah, they're well, they're in the bottom half, that's for sure, right?
Yeah, I knew that. Could have told you that for free.
Yeah, well, it's disappointing. I think let's have a look. So yeah, they're in the bottom 3. They are in the bottom 3. 7 points. Their form is lost, win, draw, loss. So yeah, they just lost recently to who did they lose to recently? They lost at home to Fulham 2-0. So, we should be definitely trying to win that game. And
100%.
Yeah. Well, one thing, like, this is a good point from Kaz, right? Like, and I don't know if you heard Arnie Slot's rhetoric before the game, but he said that they said, what are you doing to prepare for Aston Villa, such a tough team? And he said, I don't think it's tough to prepare for Aston Villa at all. Unai Emery's always played the same way, right? Yeah. And I thought that was a little bit dismissive and a little bit disrespectful, to say that, Emery only plays one way, or, maybe, it's easy to play against an Emery team or something like that.
And that's a lot of mind games as well, Scotty.
Yeah, if I was Emery, I'd be getting that quote and pinning that on the dressing room wall and saying, look at Slot. He thinks he can just walk in and beat us. So, and I was expecting a reaction, to us to come out of the blocks and, be fired up. And,
it's hard when you're flat. It's hard when everyone's down.
Yeah. Jacob Ramsey is the only one that I think played like that. And now he's injured.
Yeah, he has a point to prove. JJ has a point to prove. And as Coxie said before, he's made a glass this season and last season. Like, he was so promising in the first season under Emery, getting goals and assists and running at defenders and whatnot. Now he's made a glass. He
is, and his final ball is really not there at the moment. It's it is putrid, and he does so many good things, and as a team we do so many good things, and then we sort of fall over the ball or pass it straight to a opposition player or do something that's like mind-bogglingly bad. Like, but Bailey was played through and he was one-on-one. I'm just thinking, all right, he's going to do his little trick, get on his left and shoot. And it just sort of went under his foot, went out throwing or something. And I was just like, I've never seen players this skillful that I know are good players, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they're donkeys. We've seen it before. We know that Ollie Watkins, Ramsey, and Leon Bailey, guys like this are skillful players, top players, and they're just doing simple errors at the moment. Even the likes of Morgan Rogers, who started the season so well, he's kind of dropped off, and it's bizarre. He's probably playing the worst he's ever played for a while, and he gets called up to the England squad now. So, when he was
this will only help him, by the way.
I think so. I'm glad he's there because I think he deserves it, and I hope he gets some game time against for the England team. They're playing Ireland and Greece, I think. So
I reckon he will get game time.
Yeah, I think so too. And especially if him and Oli are playing at the same time, that could be interesting. But
and Comstock, imagine that.
Yeah. Well,
look, it's a dust yourself off international break for me, Scott. That's how I see it. You can tell on the pod we're just flat. Like we're just flat now, and
we're like flat as the players, But
it's true. It's true because you're right. As the players do, you ride the highs and the lows and whatnot, and it's the game started at 7 a.m. for me. I was like up early, I was like, you beauty, Sunday morning.
I hate those Saturday night.
I love them. Well, you don't like them.
Like 4 a.m. here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the majority of our games in Melbourne. But look, Scott, it'll be a long international break, but I reckon we'll come out for Palace and it'll be all right. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. All
right, should we do predictions if we're not We'll do predictions for Palace just in case. Like we might do another episode during the international break. Maybe do a quiz or something.
Yeah,
I've got a few questions, a few more tenables coming up. So look forward to that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends. I know it's been a bit of a disappointing couple of weeks, but we're not giving up, and you guys shouldn't give up either. But I'm going to go 2-0 against Palace because it's just a must win, and hopefully it's a nice, comfortable 2-0.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 3-0.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, nothing else to say. I think that's about it.
That's about it, guys. Well, please, like I said, like the video and comment. It all helps the algorithm. Thanks for your support and keep the faith. Only 1 point off
Definitely
third.
keep the faith.
Big couple of months coming up. We got Champions League, Juventus around the corner, some big games. So make sure you follow us on the pod. Make sure you click that notification bell.
Absolutely.
And you'll know when the videos go live. And up the Villa, and we will see you next week.
Up the Villa.